Have you ever wondered why some moments in life feel electric, while others fall flat like silence in a dead room, even though nothing on the outside has changed? Maybe you walk into a place and without anyone saying a word, you know something's off. Or you meet someone for the first time and feel instantly drawn to them, or maybe drained by them. What is that feeling? What is it that you're picking up on when logic can't explain what your gut already knows? That sense of something more, just beyond what you can see or touch, that's not imagination, that's energy. And right now, it's shaping your reality in ways you're probably not even aware of. We've all been taught to focus on what we can measure, what we can touch, name, and define. But the truth is, most of what's driving your life is invisible. It's not just out there in the universe, it's inside you, around you, between you, and everyone you meet. And if you don't understand how it works, you're basically driving blind. Energy is not some far-out idea for spiritual gurus or scientists in white coats. It's the raw material of everything: your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, even your luck and success. It all starts and ends with energy, and the way you use it or ignore it shapes everything you experience. The wild part is you're already using energy all the time. You just don't know how you're using it. Every decision you make, every word you speak, every reaction you have is an energy output. Your focus is energy, your beliefs are energy, your memories, your pain, your love, your fear. All of it is energy with a frequency, a weight, a movement. And every one of those energies either builds you up or pulls you down. But because you've never been taught how to see energy, you've been swimming in it without even knowing the water is there. Take a second and think about how your day starts. Maybe you wake up and grab your phone, scroll through news or social media. Maybe you check your messages or emails. Without even realizing it, you've already allowed energy into your mind and body. The headlines you read, the texts you react to, the images you compare yourself against, they all carry energy signals your nervous system picks up on, every bit of it, and your body reacts even if you don't feel it yet. Your breathing shifts, your heart rate changes, your mood bends just a little, and that ripple carries through your whole day. This is how energy works. It enters silently, but speaks loud in how you think, feel, and act. And most people live their entire lives not realizing they're responding to energy before they're responding to facts. You're not reacting to the world, you're reacting to your perception of the world, and your perception is filtered by the energy you've allowed in. When you understand this, you stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the creator of it. Think of your mind like a radio. If you're not tuning the dial with intention, you're stuck listening to static or whatever station happens to be nearby. But once you learn how to tune, you get to decide what plays in your head, what you believe, how you feel, how you move. And once you learn how to tune your own internal energy, something radical begins to happen. The outside world starts to shift with you, because energy is contagious. Just like a single candle lights a dark room, your inner energy lights everything around you. But first, you need to see how much of your energy has been on autopilot. You've been conditioned to ignore your own signals for years, maybe since childhood. You were taught to follow rules, not feelings, to think before you feel, to focus on facts, not intuition. But those instincts, the ones you buried, are the keys to mastering energy. You've had the ability all along to feel your way through life, not just think your way through it. But it was shut down by a world that taught you to only trust what you can prove. What if I told you that your body is already giving you all the proof you need? The tightness in your chest when something feels wrong, the warmth in your stomach when something feels right, the pull in your heart when you're around someone you love, the chill in your spine when you're being lied to. Those aren't random feelings, those are energy signals. But you were trained to override them, to silence the part of you that knows how to read the invisible layers of reality. And without even realizing it, you became disconnected from your own power. Here's the truth: your energy is your compass. It tells you what's aligned and what's not. And if you've lost that connection, this is how you start to get it back. Not through some complicated ritual or expensive training, but by learning to listen again. Right now, in this moment, wherever you are, take a breath. Not a big one, not a forced one. Just notice the one that's already happening and follow it in and out. Just observe for a few seconds. That's the first doorway back to your energy, noticing what already is. Most people think they need to do something to access energy, but it's the other way around. It's not about doing, it's about undoing it. It's about clearing out all the distractions and noise so you can finally hear what's been whispering to you all along. You're not disconnected, you're just overwhelmed. Your system has been jammed with so many inputs and distractions that your natural energy awareness got buried under it all. But it's still there, waiting to be uncovered. Think of your energy like a river. It knows how to flow on its own, but over time, debris builds up, rocks, logs, and mud, and the water gets stuck or redirected. Your job isn't to force the river to move, it's to remove the blocks so it can return to its natural flow. And those blocks aren't just stress or pain, they're also your beliefs, your habits, your inner dialogue, the stories you tell yourself about what's possible and what's not. Energy doesn't lie, it only moves. And when your energy is stuck, it's a sign your story needs to change. And when your story changes, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, your life does too. But none of that starts until you slow down and pay attention. Most people live reactive lives, bouncing from one situation to the next, with no awareness of how their own energy is being used or drained. They wake up tired, they move through the day exhausted, they go to bed numb and call it normal. But that's not normal, that's just common. Energy control is about reclaiming your attention and redirecting it toward what fuels you, not what empties you. It's not about being hyper-spiritual or positive all the time. It's about being awake, aware, and aligned with what actually strengthens you. The moment you start doing that, you become powerful in a way you've never been before. And here's the thing, you don't need to change everything at once to get results. All you need to do is notice one moment a day where your energy shifts. Maybe it's when you talk to someone and feel drained. Maybe it's when you eat something and feel sluggish. Maybe it's when you walk outside and feel lighter. Every time you notice a shift, you're training your awareness. And the more you train, the more control you gain. Energy control doesn't mean manipulating the world around you. It means mastering your world within. And when you do that, the outside starts to respond in ways you never imagined. Because the truth is, everything begins with you. The world you see is not the world that is. It's the world your energy creates. And you have more influence than you've ever been told. Energy isn't something to be feared or forced. It's something to be respected, listened to, and directed. Like the wind that carries a sailboat or the fire that cooks a meal. It's neither good nor bad. It's just powerful. And your ability to work with it depends on how well you understand it. So let's start by understanding you, not just your personality or your goals, but your patterns, your energy signatures, your emotional rhythms. Because until you know how you move, you won't know how to change where you're going. Energy control begins with awareness, and awareness begins right now.
You're starting to feel it now, that shift in how you look at the world. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's loud, but it's happening. The realization that your energy is not just something you feel once in a while, it's the silent architect behind everything you live. It's the lens through which you see love, fear, possibility, danger, safety, opportunity. It's not separate from you, it is you. Your energy is the most honest part of you because it doesn't lie the way your words do or hide the way your face sometimes does. It's always broadcasting, even when you're silent. And whether you realize it or not, people around you pick up on it, just like you pick up on theirs. We all do, even when we pretend we don't. We're constantly exchanging information on a level beneath words. This is how a room can feel heavy, even if no one's talking, or how someone can walk into a space and immediately lift the mood. They're not magic, they're just aligned with their energy, and they know how to use it. Now imagine what happens when you become aware of that power within yourself. When you stop leaking energy to fear, overthinking, or self-doubt, and instead start focusing it with intention, everything changes, because now you're not just reacting to life, you're shaping it. Most of the energy you lose every day doesn't come from physical work. It comes from mental habits, patterns you've had for years that burn energy without giving anything back. Like running apps on your phone that drain the battery even when you're not using them. Your brain is the same way. It's constantly running background programs, most of which you didn't choose and don't even know are there. These programs are made up of beliefs, thoughts, and expectations picked up from childhood, school, culture, social media, religion, trauma, and repetition. You were taught what to fear, what to chase, what to avoid, how to fit in, and what to think of yourself. Some of those beliefs help you, but many of them don't, and they create invisible barriers between who you are and who you could be. These beliefs become energy blocks, not because they're evil, but because they take up space. They limit flow. They create walls where there could be doors. The moment you start questioning these beliefs is the moment you start reclaiming your energy. Think about how often you hold yourself back, not because something is truly impossible, but because some old voice in your head whispers that you're not ready, not good enough, not worthy. Where did that voice come from? Who put it there? And why are you still listening to it? Energy control begins the moment you stop accepting every thought as truth and start asking, is this mine, or is this just something I picked up along the way? Science has a name for this kind of reprogramming. They call it neuroplasticity. It means your brain is not fixed. It's changeable, moldable. It adapts to what you focus on. It builds pathways based on repetition and emotion. So if you've spent years believing you're broken, your brain builds highways to support that belief. But the second you start feeding it new input, it begins building new roads. This is not spiritual fluff. This is biology. Your thoughts and attention direct your energy, and your energy creates your patterns, and your patterns create your reality. It's all connected. When you change the signal, you change the system. And here's the key. It doesn't take huge dramatic changes to start. It takes consistent, tiny shifts in where you place your focus. Try this next time you're stuck or overwhelmed. Don't try to solve everything at once. Pause and shift your attention to something neutral or calming. A sound in the room, your breathing, the feeling of your hands touching. That pause interrupts the automatic energy pattern. It's like pulling the emergency brake on a runaway train. And in that space, you create the power to choose a new track. That's energy control in real time. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. You've probably heard people talk about raising your vibration or clearing negative energy, and maybe that sounded too abstract or spiritual. But let's strip all that down. Here's what it really means. Every thought you have emits a frequency, and that frequency affects your body, your chemistry, and your surroundings. High-frequency states like gratitude, presence, calm, creativity send out clear signals. They create harmony in your system and attract similar patterns back. Low-frequency states like fear, resentment, anxiety, judgment create noise, static. They break the flow and throw your energy system out of balance. When people talk about manifestation or attraction, it's not magic, it's resonance, it's frequency matching. It's your internal energy setting the tone for what your nervous system is open to seeing and responding to. It's not that you think about money and it appears, it's that you change your state to one of focus, discipline, worth, and confidence. And those states make you act differently. Notice different opportunities, speak with more clarity, and create different outcomes in the world. Same world, different you. Same you, different energy. That's why it works, but only when the inner shift is real.
Let's talk about the unconscious mind, because that's where most of your energy patterns live. 95% of your daily actions are driven by unconscious programming. That means only 5% of your choices are truly conscious. The rest are habits, loops, scripts running beneath your awareness, and most of them were installed when you were a child. That's not bad, it's just how we're wired. The brain builds shortcuts to save energy, but those shortcuts become cages if we never update them. It's like using an old map to navigate a new city. Your brain keeps sending energy down the same paths because that's what it knows. But you can retrain it. And you don't need years of therapy to begin. You just need awareness and repetition. The first step is observation. Not judgment, not control, just noticing. Start paying attention to how your energy shifts throughout the day. Who drains it? What lifts it? What spaces make you feel tense? What thoughts make you shrink or expand? Keep track of it like a scientist. You're studying yourself. The more data you collect, the clearer the patterns become. And the moment you see the pattern, you can change it. Because what you can't see, you can't shift. But once it's visible, it becomes influenceable. And let's make something clear. Controlling your energy doesn't mean controlling your emotions. You're not supposed to be happy all the time or calm or perfect. That's not real. Energy control is not suppression, it's direction. It means learning to feel fully, but not be ruled by what you feel. It means letting anger move through without letting it poison your thoughts. It means letting grief express without letting it shut you down. It means welcoming joy without fearing it will disappear. Emotions are energy in motion. When you let them move, they pass. When you resist or suppress them, they get stuck. And stuck energy becomes illness or numbness or chronic tension. Energy control is emotional maturity. It's knowing that feeling something doesn't mean being consumed by it. It means making space for the wave and learning how to surf instead of drown. And that skill can be learned by anyone, even if you've spent your whole life feeling like a prisoner to your feelings. You can change it, and it starts by simply noticing without judgment. Energy is not personal. It doesn't punish or reward. It just moves, and you get to decide how you want to move with it. Now let's look at how energy connects to perception, because what you see is not just what's there. It's what your brain allows you to see based on your beliefs and energy state. Your brain takes in millions of signals every second, but filters most of them out based on what it thinks is important. And guess what tells it what's important? Your energy, your emotional state, your memories, your focus. If you're anxious, your brain will filter for threats. If you're curious, it will filter for possibilities. Two people can look at the same event and have completely different experiences, not because the event was different, but because their perception matrix was different. Energy sets the filter, and the filter creates your reality. So if you want to change what you see, you have to change what you're looking through. And the only way to do that is from the inside out. Energy work is perception work. It's not about escaping reality, it's about upgrading the lens through which you meet it. And when you do that, what you attract, what you notice, what you create, all begins to shift, not because the world changed, but because your access to it expanded. Let's try something right now. Wherever you are, look around you, not with your eyes, but with your awareness. Feel into the space. Notice if anything feels heavy or light. If your body wants to lean forward or pull back, What's your energy doing without you forcing it? Is it calm, tight, buzzing, still? Start building this habit of inner scanning, like checking the weather but inside yourself. You'll begin to notice patterns like how certain people make you feel anxious without saying a word, or how certain tasks drain you even when they look easy on paper. These aren't just moods, they're energy mismatches. And when you learn to notice them, you can begin choosing better environments, better people, better thoughts. Energy intelligence is the most underrated skill in life, and yet it affects every decision, every relationship, every moment of health and performance. And it begins with nothing more than noticing what you're already feeling under the noise.
You've come a long way now. You've gone from noticing the whispers of your own energy to understanding how your beliefs, patterns, and focus shape everything you feel and do. But there's still one more layer, the deepest one, and it changes everything. It's the level where science and awareness meet, where quantum physics and human experience overlap. It's where your thoughts, your attention, and your intention don't just influence energy, they literally help create the reality you step into. This might sound wild, but it's not a theory. It's been proven over and over in the labs and in life. The observer effect in quantum physics shows that the very act of watching a particle changes how it behaves. Imagine that for a second. Just by observing something, reality reshapes itself. Not in metaphor, not in a spiritual way, but physically. This isn't about belief, this is about mechanics. And here's where it gets even more interesting. You are observing energy all the time, every second and every moment. And that means you are participating in the creation of your world, whether you realize it or not. Your attention isn't passive, it's a force. It bends probability, it nudges potential, it collapses waves of possibility into form. And the more conscious you become of this, the more powerful your role becomes. You're not just someone in the movie, you're also the one writing the script, directing the scene, and deciding the ending. But you've been taught to forget that, and the world around you benefits when you stay asleep. Let's go deeper for a second. Imagine a field so vast, so rich with potential that anything can arise from it. That's not a fantasy. That's what physicists call the quantum field. It's not empty space. It's a sea of energy filled with infinite possibilities. And every possibility is just waiting for an observer to give it focus, attention, and meaning. You are that observer. Your thoughts are not just thoughts, they are vibrations, patterns, frequencies, and when they align with emotion and belief, they send a clear signal into that field, and the field responds. It responds not because you wished hard enough, but because you tuned in to a frequency that already existed. This is how people seem to make miracles happen, not by bending the rules, but by learning how the rules actually work. Everything is energy, but not all energy is the same. Energy has rhythm, it has intention, it has form. And when your thoughts, emotions, and actions come into alignment, you create a kind of energetic coherence that reshapes your experience from the inside out. The world doesn't suddenly change because you said the right words or did the right steps. It changes because you changed your state, your signal, your presence, and the universe responded in kind. It always has. You just weren't noticing before. Now think about the times when your life felt stuck. Maybe you were trying hard, pushing, doing everything right, but nothing worked. That wasn't because you lacked ability or effort. It was because your internal energy and external action were out of sync. Your words said one thing, but your frequency said another. Maybe you wanted success, but were still vibrating in fear. Maybe you wanted love, but were still carrying the energy of rejection. Maybe you wanted peace, but were still tuned to chaos. The field doesn't respond to your hopes, it responds to your signal, and your signal is shaped by your subconscious beliefs, your emotional state, your focus, and your willingness to feel and release what's blocking you. Most people try to change their lives from the outside in, but real change always moves from the inside out. Your life is a mirror, not a machine. It reflects what you are, not what you want. That's why the same patterns keep repeating. That's why the same types of people show up. The same problems resurface, because the energy underneath hasn't shifted yet. But once it does, everything else has to change, because the mirror only reflects what you bring to it, not what you pretend to be, but what you are deep down, in the frequency you hold when no one's watching. So how do you actually work with this in real life? Not just in theory, not just in some perfect meditation, but in the middle of stress, chaos, noise, and doubt. The answer is simple but powerful. You become the observer, not the reactor. When something triggers you, you pause and notice what energy is rising, not to judge it, but to understand it. When fear shows up, you meet it instead of running from it. When your mind spirals into worry, you watch it, like clouds passing through the sky. When you feel stuck, you don't force movement, you go inside and listen for what's ready to shift. This doesn't mean becoming passive, it means becoming powerful in a new way. Most people burn out trying to change things they don't need to change, when the real work is in changing the energy they're bringing to it. You don't need to push against life when you can align with it. Energy work is not about fixing yourself, it's about uncovering the parts of you that were already aligned, but got buried under noise, pain, expectation, and survival. This is why awareness matters, because the second you see the pattern, you no longer have to live inside it. And the moment you stop reacting to life on autopilot, you start creating it on purpose. Quantum physics has taught us that everything is connected, that particles can affect each other instantly across space and time, that what happens in one place ripples into another instantly, that time itself isn't as fixed as we think. The past, the present, the future are not separate, they're just different layers of perception. And this matters because the energy you bring into now doesn't just affect what comes next, it also changes how you experience what already happened. You can't go back and change the event, but you can change the energy you've carried from it for years. You can release the guilt, the resentment, the shame. And when you do, the past softens, the present opens, and the future shifts. We think healing is about going backwards, but it's really about bringing new energy into the now and letting that ripple backward and forward through your life. Energy doesn't obey linear rules, it follows resonance. And when you become someone new, your whole story starts to rewrite itself, not in memory, but in meaning. And that's what changes your life from the inside out. It's not the facts that define you, it's the frequency you choose to hold now in light of them. There's one more illusion you need to break, the idea that you're separate from everything around you, that your thoughts are yours alone, that your feelings live in a vacuum. It's not true. We're all connected, not just emotionally or socially, but energetically, physically, on the quantum level. What you do, how you feel, what you believe, it sends waves into the field, and those waves touch others, and theirs touch you. That's why you feel what others feel. That's why energy spreads without words. It's not psychic, it's physics. And once you really get that, you stop taking energy personally. You stop blaming yourself for every mood, every moment, every up and down. And instead, you start navigating like a conscious being, aware of the waves and choosing how to move with them. You become the calm in the chaos, the eye of the storm, the grounded presence in a world that's spinning too fast. And people feel that. They don't always know what it is, but they feel it. And they're drawn to it, not because you're special, but because you're aligned. And alignment is magnetic. It's rare and it's powerful. So where do you go from here? Now that you know how energy works, how your attention shapes reality, how your inner world creates your outer experience, where do you begin? The answer is wherever you are. Start by paying attention to how your body feels in this moment. Notice your breath, your heart, your tension, your stillness. All of it is information. It's the language of energy, and the more fluently you learn to read it, the more clearly you'll know what needs to shift and what's ready to move. You're not here to control everything, you're here to align with what's true for you, to learn how to ride the current instead of fight it, to bring coherence into chaos and create stillness without needing to escape. This isn't about becoming superhuman, it's about remembering what it means to be fully human, aware, present, connected to everything, and separate from nothing. You are energy, and energy is you. Not a thing you use, but a truth you live. And the more you align with that, the more powerful your life becomes. Not because everything is perfect, but because you know how to meet every moment with clarity, presence, and conscious energy. And that's the only real power.